Hey guys, so today's day 3 of volume. So up to this point, we've talked about rectangular prisms. What else have we talked about? Cylinders. We've talked about spheres. Today we're going to be calculating volume of a pyramid. All right, pyramid with a rectangular or square base. So again, one more time. So far, we talked about rectangular prisms or cubes, length times width times height. We've talked about a cylinder, which is pi r squared. And more recently this week, we talked about a sphere, which is 4 over 3 times pi times r to the third power. Well, again, today we will be focusing on a pyramid, okay, which is length times width times height, all of that divided by 3. So again, let me give you guys the actual formula here for volume of a pyramid. A rectangular pyramid has a rectangular base. To find the volume of a pyramid, you will find the area of the rectangular base, and multiply it by the height of the pyramid. Then divide by 3. So if we take a look at this formula, right, this kind of looks familiar here. Volume, this top part, volume is equal to length times width times height. If you only did that, length times width times height, you would have actually created, if I can draw this, if I can kind of draw this, that is terrible. You would have. Let me try that one more time. You would have created, it'll be a little awkward, but you would have created a cube or a rectangular prism. So what we have to do then in order to fix that, in order to get a pyramid, is divide by 3. A pyramid would be 1/3 of that size. So that's why we divide by 3. Okay, so hopefully it looks a little familiar, right? Length times width times height. And then you're just taking 1/3 of that. That's why we divide by 3, so we can just be left with the pyramid that is inside. So it says find the volume of the pyramid. So here, since I have a pyramid, let me write down that formula. Volume is equal to my length times my width times my height, all of that being divided by 3. Well, let's fill in what we know. Volume is equal to, what is my length? It's up to you which of those bottom ones you'd like to pick. Either 8 or 7 could be your length. Length and width are interchangeable. So I'll go ahead and choose 8 as my length. Personally, I like to find the longer one for my length longer, but that's just personal preference. So 8 times, what's my width? Well, my width is obviously the other side over here, which is 7, and I'm going to multiply that by my height. Now again, the height is from the very bottom floor to the very tippity top of this pyramid, which in this case is 6 inches. And then we're going to divide all of that by 3. We're going to take 1/3 of that rectangular prism that we created by multiplying length times width times height. We're going to take 1/3 of that. So let's go through and multiply those out. 8 times 7 times 6. Give me 1 second to take out my calculator. What is 8 times 7 times 6? That gives me a total of 336. And well, of course, it's kind of obvious, right? The last thing you're going to do here is just simply divide by 3. 336 divided by 3 gives us 112. Since we were talking about inches, this would be inches cubed. The volume of this pyramid is 112 inches cubed. Okay, let's try this one more time here. Find the volume of the pyramid. So one more time, make sure you have the right formula. Volume of a pyramid. It is length times width times height. And again, feel free to look back and reference it. Length times width times height divided by 3. You can use your notes on your homework, on your test, guys, on your quizzes. Please look back at the formulas. Make sure you got the right one for the right shape. Let's fill in everything that we know. Volume is equal to my length here. It doesn't matter, right? They're both 13. So I'll use 13 times what's my width, another 13, times what is my height from the very top of the pyramid down to the bottom. That is 9 feet. And we're going to divide all of that by 3. We're going to take 1/3 of that rectangular prism. So what is 13 times 13 times 9? 13 times 13 times 9. That gives me 1,521. But when I divide that by 3, whoops, let me do that one more time. 1,521. When I divide that by 3, I get a total volume here of 507. What were our units? Feet. So I'm going to say feet cubed, or feet to the third power. Okay, that is the volume of this pyramid. All right, So next question here, it says a rectangular pyramid has a volume. So this time I give you the volume, a volume of 525 cubic feet, or feet to the third power. It has a base of 25 feet by 18 feet, and our job is to find the height of the pyramid. So let me see if I can draw a picture to the best of my abilities here. It's not going to be the prettiest thing in the world. So there's the base, and then let's see if I can connect these. Okay, let's see if I can connect it. It's not the fanciest pyramid in the world, but hopefully we get the idea. We get the idea that, hey, there's our pyramid. So let me go through and label a couple of things that we know. The base is 25 feet by 18. So again, the bottom down here, that kind of square rectangle base, that measures 25 feet by 18 feet. Okay, and they're asking us to find the height. So again, I want from the very top of this pyramid down to the bottom here. That is what I'm trying to figure out. That is going to be my x. That is going to be my unknown. I don't know that height. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But I do know the volume. I actually know how much space is inside this pyramid. That measures 525 cubic feet. So let's see how the formula can help us out. Remember, if this is a pyramid, volume of a pyramid is equal to length times width times height, all of that divided by 3. Fill in everything that you know. For example, volume, I know my volume. My volume is right here, 525. I actually give you guys that this time around. I give you the volume. Let's fill in everything else that we know. What is my length going to be? My length would be something like 25. Oops. I'll write it out with little dots for multiplication. 25 times my width. Well, my width is another 18. And what I'm trying to figure out, right? What I'm trying to figure out here is my height times h, which is my height. And then I have the rest of the formula. Okay, so hopefully that color coding helps you out. I plugged in my base, my length, my width. H is still my unknown. You can use h or x to represent your height, right? H or x, we can leave it as h. And then I plugged in also for our volume, right? Normally we're trying to get volume, but now this time I plugged it in, 525. This is just a multi-step equation. Let's get rid of this fraction. First of all, how do I get rid of this fraction so I can solve and figure out what h is going to be? I would like to multiply both sides by 3 times 3 times 3. So what is 525? What is that volume? 525 times 3. That would give me 1,575 is equal to 25 times 18 times just h, because the 3's end up canceling each other out. Let me go ahead and multiply the 25 and the 18. Let me actually go ahead and multiply these two things together. What is 25 times 18? 25 times 18. So I have 1,575 is equal to 450 h. I have one more thing that I have to do here. If I just simply divide both sides, let me try to find one more color that I haven't used. If I divide both sides by 450, that should give me my actual height. So what is 1,575 divided by 450? That gives me 3.5 is equal to h. And that again is going to be our height. Our height measures 3.5 what? Feet. And it's not feet to the third power. It's not volume. It's the actual height. So this height right there measured 3.5 feet. All right, on to example number 3. It says a pyramid arena in Memphis, Tennessee is a square pyramid that is 321 feet tall. The base has 600-foot sides. Find the volume of the pyramid. And it's like, well, they don't give me enough information, but they actually do. They actually do. So again, the pyramid in Tennessee, it's a square pyramid. That means at the bottom, the base down here, right? It's a perfect square. Let's see if I can draw a better pyramid this time. Okay, so there's my pyramid. And again, the base is a square. Let's fill in the other information. It is 321 feet tall from the top down to the center. Okay, that measures 321 feet. And the base has 600-foot sides. So this is 600 feet. Not only that side, but also the other side is also another 600 feet because it's a square base. It has a square base. So please be careful. Sometimes it'll look like they don't give you enough information, but they actually do since we have a square base. So our volume here of this pyramid, again, it's length times width times height, all of that divided by 3, a third of that. So let's plug in everything that we know. Volume is equal to, what is my length? 600. Okay. What is my width? Another 600. What is my height? 321. And we're just simply going to multiply those together and divide by 3. Okay, that should give us our total volume here. Let me find a different color. Volume of this pyramid is going to be, let me actually multiply this out. It's going to be pretty large. So 600 times 600 times 321 is equal to, I have 115,560,000. So let's see if I can actually write this out. 115,560,000. All of that divided by 3. So divide that by 3, and it gives us, let me find a different color. It gives us a volume of 38,520,000. And again, this would be in feet cubed, right? And it makes sense. This is a pretty large building, so it makes sense that we have cubic feet being very, 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 very high here. So 38.5 million feet cubed.